Good morning, good looking people, and you're good looking because you're always looking, and of course, you are finding the good in everything and in everybody. Hope you're well, hope you had a great and successful week. Today, we're doing the Hayom Yom for the 7th of Nissan. This Hayom Yom literally has like 2 sentences, but there's so much information here. I'm going to do my best to give you a ton of information and try to be efficient with it, but it's very, very interesting, and I'll try to move quickly. First of all, for the 7th of Nissan, the Rebbe gives some instructions, and we'll go through it. And again, whenever the Rebbe brings up information or instructions, it's emphasizing what the Chabad minhag is in our tradition versus others. And then the second part of the Hayom Yom is talking about names. And the Rebbe talks about the family names, Schneerson and Barchavich, and there's so much in names. We learned that even in the Gemara, Rameir would change names. He could see a name and can see the integrity of a person. And God forbid if somebody's sick, a name is changed or added into making sure that it brings chayes and life into a person's name. So the name is critical. And also, the Rebbe is bringing emphasis on last names, how last names also have an effect on a person. So let's go into the Hayom Yom. There's a lot of notes. We'll go through them together, and we'll show the connection of the day as well. So for the 7th of Nisan, it says in the passage Al HaKol, recited after Vayehi ben Aaron, when the Torah is taken out on Shabbos and Yom Tov, the wording is V'chiratzon kol amcha beis Yisrael. And the reason why there's emphasis on kol amcha beis Yisrael is because in some Sidurim they don't have the word amcha. In some places they have the word amai. So the Rebbe is emphasizing that in our Sidurim we use the word amcha beis Yisrael. Now, for the Hayom Yom portion, the Alter Rebbe's family's name was Barchavich. The family name of his son, the Mittler Rebbe, was Shnuri, and the family name of the Tzemach Tzedek was Schneerson. That's the whole Hayom Yom. But here we go. First of all, the Tzemach Tzedek, his last name was Schneerson. He got that name. It came to him in a dream with the Alter Rebbe, and the Alter Rebbe gave him that confirmation that they should have the family name Schneerson. First of all, we're in the Parsha of Mitzara. Mitzara means a leper. The Rebbe emphasized using positive words, and the Parsha is also referred to as Parsha Tahara, which means the Parsha of somebody that's pure, of purity. So the emphasis on on a more clean word, no pun intended, rather than the word Mitzara. And therefore, when we look at this Hayom Yom and we're looking at the names, the Rebbe's names, their family names were all about blessings. You have Barchavich, you have Shneuri, which means 2 lights. Schneerson, also referring to lights, that there's an emphasis on positivity and lights and in names. Today is the 7th of Nisan. That means we have the Nasi of the day. The Shevet of the Nasi for the 7th of Nisan is Ephraim. Ephraim got his name from Yosef. So Yosef was the ruler in Egypt. He moved down to Egypt, and he had 2 boys. One was Ephraim, one was Menashe. Ephraim signifies family. So when Yosef gave him his name, I believe in the pasuk he uses the word Ephrani, which means you multiplied me here in Egypt. So being that Yosef had more children or had children in a strange land, it was emphasized on family, and today the Hayom Yom is talking about family names. Moving on. 1848 in Russia was the law that came out that people needed to have a last name. Last names were not very popular back then. Even in Europe, people emphasized their first names, and then they were identified if they had the same name by either their trade, their profession, by their mother, by their father, by their street, something like that. There was always something to separate somebody. There wasn't really an emphasis on last names. In 1848, in the month of Nisan, today we're doing the Hayom Yom for Nisan, that is when the law was passed. Therefore, emphasis on the family name. And that's why it's also being brought up in today's Hayom Yom. Another interesting point. All the Rebbes with the last name Schneerson have a connection to the month of Nissan. So you have the Rebbe's birthday, which is coming up next week, Yud Aleph Nissan, which is the 11th of Nissan. You have the Tzemach Tzedek's Yortzeit is the 13th of Nissan. You have the Rebbe Rayatz, which is the previous Rebbe. He took leadership on Beis Nissan. And then you have the Yortzeit of the Rebbe Rashab, who's also on Beis Nissan. Therefore, all the Schneersons have a connection to the month of Nissan. More information. We are at day 136 on the Luach calendar. We talked about how the Hasidic calendar starts from Yutes Kislev. It also talks about that an author of a book should emphasize his name in his book and hint to it. So if you actually take the gematria of the name Menachem, which is the first name of the Rebbe, the numbers are 40, 50, 8, and 40, which is Mem, Nun, Ches, and Mem, which is 138. Therefore, in the Hayom Yom of this week, which is, we're talking about names today, and the Rebbe's birthday this week, Menachem, which is 138, is identified in the Hayom Yom, and it's hinted here. And then also, his last name, being that he brought up the emphasis of last name and talks about Schneerson today, therefore we have the Rebbe's first name and we have the Rebbe's last name in the Hayom Yom, especially here in Nissan. So, summing up on the names, summing up on the Hayom Yom of the day, names are very important. We talk about names. There's a lot of energy in names. And the Rebbe used to sit up for bring-ins, and he would call up on a chassid or something, and even change the last name if he felt it was appropriate to bring chayas or bring energy or bring something good to that family. And there was a lot of situations where this took place. Have a great day. Have a great and rest of the week. And again, emphasis on the names, emphasis on the energy of names, that we don't take them lightly. And also when we have a position where we're able to name a child as well, a lot of Ruach HaKodesh, a lot of it goes into the names. Have a great day. We'll talk more tomorrow.